I'm in the middle of playing a game. I hate it when that happens. Anyways, we will be concluding this in episode 42. The fact that it has to have 42 episodes just because my internet decides, hey, and just because my stream decides to, hey, let's crash. If you won't tell this court, then I will. Well, don't keep us waiting. This case includes a second victim. One of the two people found alive in the tomb after the minister's murder was actually already dead. But a second victim, Apollo? Queen Amara, after you channeled Minister Inga and moved to the tomb, you vanished from the scene of the crime by channeling the other victim. That explains why no one found you after the murder was discovered. Oh, you putrid pepper, of all the half-witted buffoonery to come tumbling from your lips. But suppose I indulge you and play along with your little delusion. Tell me, Mr. Justice, who was the other victim? There's no way this can be true. But... no! I can't stop now! If this is the truth, it's the only way forward to solving this case. The other victim who Queen Amara channeled was... Dirk Sadmati. Listen, son. Even if you manage to prove me innocent tomorrow, I don't have long to live. There's no escaping death now that it has its sights set on me. Dirk knew everything, but he couldn't bring himself to tell me. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. He couldn't accuse the love of his life. The sad truth is, the other victim channeled by Amara was... Take that! What? You can't! That's not possible! The defendant, Dirk Sadmati, is the one Queen Amara channeled. He's the other victim! This is insanity! Pokunka! Apollo, what are you... Do you realize what you're proposing? Objection! I demand an explanation, Mr. Justice! I don't know when or why Dirk was murdered, but the facts and evidence speak for themselves. And this is where they've led me. I see. After Inga's murder, Dirk and Maya were the only ones in the tomb. But if one of them was actually dead and being channeled by Amara... But it can't be! Can it? Dirk's bloodstain at the scene of the crime was the clincher for me. He wasn't even injured, so how could he have possibly bled that much? The only logical explanation is, Dirk had also been murdered. Objection! That's enough. The explanation cannot be the truth, and you would not dare to claim to have proof to support your assertion. Nayuta, I wish it weren't true. I wish with all my heart that I'm wrong, but as much as I don't want to believe it, yes, I can prove it. Dirk's killer must have hidden his body. It would have to be somewhere nobody would ever look, and there is only one such place. You truly have proof? The fastest way would be to actually have someone go check the tomb. Go check the tomb? But why? Because I believe Dirk's killer hid his body here. Take that! You would suggest? Queen Amara's sarcophagus, the only place in the tomb that no one would dare to look. Plus, a killer would soon become trapped by hiding in there. But a body, well, that's a horse of a different color. Which means... Ugh! I believe we must search the sarcophagus at once. Your Eminence! Being that Queen Amara yet lives, I trust we may now open it. If we must. Your Majesty, I believe Detective Sky is still there at the tomb. Let us contact her at once and have her conduct a full investigation into the matter. Now then, Detective Sky, your report, if you please. I'll start with my findings. Please, please, please let me be wrong about this. I just want things to be as they were. Nope. A search of the sarcophagus revealed a body that appears to be several days old. A body? Detective Sky, tell me it wasn't Dirk. Tell me my whole theory was completely off base. I have a photo of the body, and I have positively identified it as Dirk Sadmati. Dirk Sadmati. Dirk! No! Why? Why'd this have to happen? Damn it, Dirk! Answer me! How can this be? The traitorous snake, the very head of the insurgency, murdered. Oh, what a joyous day! Those fools shouting for change and revolution will finally return to whatever rocks they crawled out from under. Who? What was I even fighting for? Apollo. What am I supposed to do now? Son. A lawyer. Should never look the way you do right now. A dragon never yields. Even when wounded, a dragon bites down hard and never lets go till its dying breath. It glares, it roars, and it latches its jaws firmly onto its prey till the bitter end. That's what lawyers do to get to the truth. But Dirk, what if the truth is that you're... Apollo, in court tomorrow, you may find yourself faced with a truth that is difficult to accept. But I know you, and I know you can handle the truth, no matter what it turns out to be. I know that because I believe in you. You're my son, after all. You believed in me that much, Dirk? Dirk, I think I finally understand. I can't yield. Not now, not ever. Not after Dirk believed in me, despite knowing what was about to happen. Besides, Dirk left me with two things I must do. Are you alright, Apollo? Sorry about that, Mr. Wright. But I'm fine now. Apollo. Detective Sky! Yes! How sure are you that the body's been there for a few days? I'm positive. No autopsy's been performed yet, but I say it's been at least 3 days. Fortunately, the low temperature inside the sarcophagus kept it from decaying. Oh, and the chest area bore 3 gunshot wounds from a small caliber weapon. I believe they are the cause of death. At least 3 days, huh? That means Dirk was already dead by the time he came to visit me back in the States. Then who was channeling him? I think it would have to be someone who could get into and stay in the U.S. without arousing suspicion. He had also had a solid cover story so they wouldn't be seen as missing. I believe this is who was channeling Dirk when I saw him in the States.
Take that!
Maya? Oh, I see. She was being held hostage at the time, so it seemed only natural that she wasn't around. Right, and do you remember what she said earlier? So please, just tell me, what exactly are you hiding? Sorry, but I promised Dirk I wouldn't say. You made a promise? To Dirk? Mm-hmm, a pretty big one. Dirk didn't want his own death to be known. The other members of the Defiant Dragons would lose all hope if they found out, and that would snuff out the flames of revolution for good. Miss Faye, Dirk told you to keep quiet about this, didn't he? I guess it's no use hiding it anymore. Yes, I promised not to tell. Dirk made me promise before he died. So I was right then. Apollo, there's something I need to tell you. It's about, you know, Dirk's final moments. I'm listening, Miss Faye. What happened in his final moments? It was soon after I was kidnapped. Dirk paid me a visit in that tomb where I was being held captive. I say it was a few days before Minister Inga's murder. Hey, young lady. Time to get you up and out of here. Ooh. It's that revolutionary guy. I'm here to rescue you. You are? Why? I figured things were a little too quiet with that stamp-sucking scumbag, so I started thinking around. That's when I found out you'd been adopted. But why would a rebel help me? Let's go before it's too late. It already is for you, pal. Long time no see, you rebel blowhard. Inga, I know you're up to something, and I'm going to find out what. That's gotta smart. You become a real thorn in my side, see? So it's time for you to be pushing up daisies. Ah! Dirk! Did you really think a pea shooter like that could kill a dragon? What the? Ah! What are you, some kind of freak? Nuts to this! Dirk was shot several times, but he barely even flinched. He sacrificed himself for me. Ah! These ropes! Ah! I've got to help you! Relax. It's going to be okay. sorry things turned out this way, but it doesn't look like I have much longer. No, don't say that! You're a spirit medium, aren't you? When I'm gone, I want you to channel my spirit. Stop it! Don't give up like that! If you do, untying a rope like that'll be child's play. No! Please, hang in there. You can still make it out. Promise. Promise me. For one thing, young lady. It's about my son. Dirk. I was talking about you, Apollo. He said he wanted to see you one last time. So he asked me to return to the US and channel his spirit. He really said that? Mm-hmm. He also said he'd been meaning to visit you for years, but kept putting it off, and that this was his last chance. Ugh! You're not gonna get me, you're not gonna get me, you're not gonna get me, I'm not gonna cry. You're not doing this to me. I feel the lump in my throat forming. You just show up here without warning after all this time. What gives? I came all this way to see you, son. Come, rejoice! Right. Why don't you tell me the real reason you're here? Dirk. He really did come to the US because he wanted to see me. I guess this means it was Inga that hid Dirk's body in the sarcophagus after Maya left the tomb. Apollo, you can't stop now. Dirk would want you to keep pressing on. I know, Miss Faye, and I won't disappoint him. Defense, if you are ready to proceed, we'll first have you answer this. Do you believe the accused's death will impact what we know about this case? Yes, and I believe I can explain everything now. Very well. Your explanation, please. Dirk entered the tomb at 3 p.m., the time the hostage exchange was to take place. Or rather, Dirk, as channeled by Miss Faye, did. Now, by the time he entered the tomb at 3 p.m., Minister Inga was already dead. I say that because we know the minister was murdered at 2 p.m. But there was someone else in there. This person was already hiding in the tomb, waiting to channel Dirk in place of Miss Faye.
Take that!
It was you, wasn't it? The fact of the matter is, Queen Amara killed Minister Inga at 2 p.m. She then went to his private quarters and channeled his spirit. The minister, thinking he was going to be late, hurried to the tomb for the hostage exchange. But once in the tomb, Queen Amara stopped channeling Minister Inga and hid herself. Then, when Dirk entered at 3 p.m., she snuck up from behind and forcibly drove Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body. Drove his spirit out of her body? Impossible.
Objection!
Actually, there is a way to do that. With a Magatama parting, that is. Using one, anyone could drive a spirit out of a person's body, even if it refused to leave. Ugh! Are you telling me that the extra pale brown Magatama in the tomb was... That it was. That's right, Prosecutor Sanmari, and you've seen one in action before. You saw how the glowing red Magatama sent the High Priest back to the Twilight Realm. And how it turned a spent pale brown afterwards. In other words, the brown Magatama found in the tomb looks that way because its power had been used up in pushing Dirk's spirit out of Miss Faye's body, right? I probably passed out as soon as Dirk's spirit left my body. I was exhausted after channeling him for so long, after all. After that, Queen Amara must have dressed Miss Faye in her usual outfit and tied her up. I'm not sure where she got the outfit, but we could assume she had it all planned out. Then, Queen Amara must have changed into Dirk's clothes, smeared blood onto them, picked up the knife, and channeled Dirk's spirit. That's how she made it look like Dirk had committed the crime. And that's how she escaped, right under our noses. I don't know, Apollo. The whole thing still seems a bit far-fetched. Dirk, what was going through your mind while all this was unfolding? So ultimately, it was all for naught. Nayuta? Those dreams of revolution Dirk was always spouting. They placed nothing but false hope in the minds of the people, and in the end, they were simply fantasies. Nayuta, how can you? Karma has spoken. The dream of revolution has withered on the vine. Its fate is sealed. The other insurgents will soon wake from their shattered dreams. No, Dirk's dream can't die like this. I'm not going to sit back and let that happen. I can't, and I won't. Nayuta, don't forget that Dirk's been proven innocent. His name is no longer tainted by the charge of murder. Now, the rebels and their sympathizers who have been calling for his release can't be charged with abetting the accused. So the revolution is far from over. It's only just begun. No, Dirk has not yet been proven innocent. He has merely indicated the possibility of his innocence. What do you mean? Dirk is indeed dead. However, what if it was Dirk who killed Minister Inga while being channeled by Miss Faye? And while the crime could have occurred at 2 p.m., you have yet to substantively prove it. Or do you have conclusive proof that the time of Minister Inga's death was at 2 p.m.? Well, no, I don't, but it seems further testimony will be required of me, as it would appear that I have fallen under suspicion. I would like to state my case. Prosecutor Sanmari, the rebellion must be snuffed out at once and for all. You must prove Dirk Sanmari to be the foul murderer that he is, and every last insurgent and their sympathizers must be found guilty under the Defense Culpability Act. As you wish, Your Eminence. Why is Nayuta doing this? Garan shouldn't have him under her thumb anymore. Amara's not a hostage, so what gives? Nayuta, what's left to chain you to her like this? It's Rafa. Rafa is not Garan's daughter. She's Amara's, which makes her his sister. Very well then, Queen Amara. Please proceed with your additional testimony. You have no proof. Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer, but nothing but your silver tongue. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory. Furthermore, Dirk could have committed the crime while being channeled by Miss Faye. Now let us end this charade. For the eternal glory of Krain and his people. You understand now, you putrid pepper? There is no point in defending Dirk any longer. It has all been in vain. Let it go and move on, right? Well, not today. Your theories are but a pillar of salt that crumbles at the slightest breeze. But no more. This ends here and now. The defense may proceed with this cross-examination. Well done, lawyer. You have painted me as a killer with nothing but your silver tongue. However, you have no evidence proving your distasteful theory.
Hold it!
I admit I don't have any solid evidence. Yet. But you're the only one who could have committed the crime. What on earth do you mean? Including Miss Faye, there are only 3 spirit mediums in Kurai. Shit! Stop with the yawns! Furthermore, when the crime scene was first discovered, Queen Garan was with me and Mr. Wright, while Miss Faye was tied up in the tomb. That means that the Dirk we saw after the minister's murder could only have been channeled by you, Queen Amara. Insolent lawyer. Forgive us your mercilessness! Really, Your Majesty?
Objection.
Ah, but have you considered the following defense? What if there was, unbeknownst to us, another spirit medium in Kunai?
Objection!
Oh, come on! What are the chances? You lack the evidence to support your claim that Queen Amara is the killer, which is why you have had to use the process of elimination to zero in on her. It therefore stands to reason that you would have to rule out all other possibilities as well. Well, can you eliminate the possibility of another spirit medium defense? Of course I can't! Under the circumstances that follow, there are two ways to establish Amara's guilt. We either prove she killed Inga, or prove she was in the tomb. Which one can I actually prove? I can prove she was in the tomb. I can prove that Queen Amara was in the tomb when the murder occurred. It seems you are ever bent on painting me as the killer. Well, if the shoe fits. Very well, let us see some evidence that proves I was at the scene of the crime. You do have some, do you not? There is nothing to prove I was even at the scene of the crime. Really? This pink butterfly pendant says otherwise, because Dirk has a blue one. Queen Amara. Does this pendant look familiar to you? Why, that is... We found it in the tomb, and it has the minister's blood on it, which means it was probably dropped in the course of the crime.
Objection!
And I fail to see how it is relevant to your argument. Did that not belong to the accused? That's what I thought too. After all, Dirk had said it did himself. He said that? Yes, but it was a lie. Because I believe he was covering for someone. Covering? How? For who? There is a certain piece of evidence that shows the pendant isn't Dirk's. This corpse photo. That's a photo of the accused's body, is it not? Yes, it is. And I'd like to call your attention to a certain spot in it. This right here proves that the pendant that was found in the tomb wasn't Dirk's.
Take that!
You will notice an object near Dirk's left arm. It's an identical pendant, except it's blue. Oh, now that you mention it. Don't you find that a little strange? Why would he own two of them, but in different colors? Here's what I think. The pendants were meant to go together as a pair. A pair? If the blue pendant was Dirk's, then what about this pink one with Minister Inga's blood on it? Who do you suppose it belongs to?
Objection!
Sorry to disappoint, but no fingerprints were found on the pink pendant. Therefore, we have no way of knowing to whom it belongs.
Objection!
Ah, but that's where you're wrong, Prosecutor Sanmari. I'm guessing you didn't know that this pendant is actually a locket. Come again? Now this is where it gets interesting. When we opened this locket up, we found a faint fingerprint inside, on the back of the lid to be exact. What?! No! So now the question is, to whom does the fingerprint belong? Queen Amara! It belongs to you, doesn't it? Oh. It seems I've truly rendered the witness speechless this time around. This cannot be! Mother, tell me it does not belong to you! Nayuda, Think about it, Queen Amara. Dirk must have realized that you were channeling his spirit, and he had probably already figured out who the minister's killer was. And yet, he still claimed that the pink pendant belonged to him. But why would he do such a thing? You really don't know? He was protecting you. Because he loved you. He loved you until his very last breath, and beyond. I have one more big secret. I'm afraid I can't tell you what it is. I'd be betraying a certain someone if I did. Dirk knew everything, even that he was being used, but he kept quiet, all for your sake. Dirk, why do you always... Well, Queen Amara, Dirk, the one whose love for you never wavered all these years. Are you going to betray him now? Dirk, I... Ah! This cannot be! I refuse to accept it! Queen Amara, are you ready to confess to your crime? I can deny it no longer. The truth is, it was I, Amara Sigatar Kurain, who slew Minister Inga. That's preposterous! Why? This is beyond belief! Mother, why would you? Forgive me, Nayuda. I never wished to cause you such sorrow. But I had no choice. It was the only way. The only way? So, in the end, Queen Amara and Dirk Sanmati. I suppose this means that they were unable to reconcile while he was still alive. I don't think the state of the kingdom or the incidents of the past would have allowed that. They were prisoners of their shared history, so to speak. Queen Amara, there's something I need to know. You had staged a near-perfect crime, so why did you bring this pendant into the tomb with you? You should have known it could come back to haunt you. I do not really understand it myself. I had nearly been assassinated by my own husband, yet I could not bear any hatred toward him. I was unable to discard this or part with it for even a short time. As with Dirk, I have never stopped loving my husband for the past 23 years. Mother. So she really believes it? That Dirk tried to assassinate her? Your Majesty, is it not time? Time to declare Dirk innocent? I would ask that you do this for my beloved, who now dwells in the Twilight Realm. Very well then. Your Eminence, Prosecutor Sanmati, if you have no further objections. Ah! This cannot be! My mother? I have no objections. Dirk, I did it. I finally did it! I proved your innocence! But... Very well then. Being that Queen Amara yet lives, we can no longer charge the accused with an assassination that never came to fruition. As for the murder of Minister Inga, the truth has been laid bare for all to see. Therefore, I will now pass judgment upon the accused Mr. Dirk Sanmati. Your benevolence? I cannot accept this. Is something the matter, Your Benevolence? Queen Amara is lying. It makes no sense. Queen Amara would not have killed my father. What's with her all of a sudden? Is this some sort of lingering affection towards Nana? Rafa. Speak the truth, Queen Amara. Did you really kill my father? Yes. There's no mistake. She has confessed to the crime, thereby clearing the accused of all suspicion. As such, I see no need to continue these proceedings. But Barbed, Hornhead, are you going to let this stand? Dirk's been proven innocent, and he's about to be declared not guilty. Even so, something doesn't feel right. Apollo, if you have any doubts, now's the time to raise them. After all, the courtroom is a place for finding the whole truth, but it's all up to you. There are definitely things that don't quite add up. Does this mean that the whole truth hasn't been brought to light yet? Shall I push to continue this trial? Yep. Your Majesty, I have a feeling we haven't discovered the whole truth, and the only way we'll ever find it is to continue this trial. Hornhead! Very well then. Will the defense please tell us this? What important fact about this case has yet to come to light? The motive! Queen Amara? There's something I still don't understand. What was your motive for killing Justice Minister Inga? That is a fair question, and one that I shall now answer. It was for the future of this kingdom that I slew Inga Karkukurai. To avert further tragedy, his death was an unfortunate necessity. Further tragedy? Over the past several years, Minister Inga had been rapidly expanding his power. He had established a secret police and was relentless in his pursuit of the insurgents. He even had the overwhelming support of the people, but still he was not satisfied. Hungry for more power, he began planning a coup d'etat. You mean his plot involving the Founder's Orb, which led to Maya Fei's abduction? Yes. Mr. Inga planned to use the orb to gain access to great spiritual power, after which he would assassinate Garan and usurp the throne. His machinations were reminiscent of that terrible tragedy of 23 years ago, and as one affected by that incident, Amara vowed to never allow a repeat of such events. Yes, and the Holy Mother delivered unto me the perfect opportunity to fulfill my vow. Security amid the courtyard was rather light due to the rite of channeling, and Inga had barricaded himself in the tomb with his hostage away from prying eyes. I knew I would never again have such a perfect opportunity, so... At 2 p.m. during the rite of channeling, I slipped into the tomb and slew the minister. You're lying! My bracelet! Apollo? Yep. It seems this trial is far from over. Queen Amara, I believe you're still hiding something. But if you want to keep on playing this game of hide and seek, then let's start with that last statement you made. If I must. There it is, right there. Her middle finger is twitching.
Gotcha!
It's so subtle that it's so easy to miss. Queen Amara, you're not very comfortable talking about the 2 o'clock rite of channeling, are you? I could tell because a finger on your left hand twitched almost imperceptibly when you did. Oh? And that pose you make, is there something about your chest that makes you nervous? Whatever do you mean? The murder occurred at 2 p.m., and I'm pretty positive Amara was in the tomb at that time. So then why is she so self-conscious about her chest when she talks about the rite? The rite of channeling? Didn't Albie snap a picture of it? Queen Amara, I have here a picture of the rite of channeling. It was secretly taken by a certain individual.
Objection!
Such insolence! I would have the perpetrator's name at once! Sorry, no can do. You see, I just happened to find it on the ground, so... Do you take me for a fool? How about we discuss the photo's origin a little later, because right now... there's something much more pressing at hand. I believe this photo merits further examination. It's her outfit. I just wish there was more to see in it than darkness and more darkness. We might be able to make out a few more details with some image adjustments. Let's ask Emma if she can help. Bailiff, please summon Detective Sky to the Hall of Justice. Here you are. I was able to obtain a much clearer image by raising the brightness. And the burn mark. What's that right there? An injury? No, wait. I think it's a burn scar. Wait a second. Your Eminence. She doesn't have that scar. You don't have a burn scar like that on your chest. It's all coming out! What's going on here? If the person in this photo isn't Queen Karan, then who is it?
Take that!
It's Amara. Queen Amara, the person in this photo isn't Queen Karan. It's you posing as her, isn't it? The two of you look quite similar. That's no surprise considering you're sisters. Even the shape and position of your facial tattoos are almost exactly the same, and you are both capable of channeling spirits. Therefore, it would have been easy for you to impersonate Queen Garan. Ugh. Queen Amara, you have a burn scar on your chest, don't you? Please remove your round mandala so we can see what's behind it for ourselves. Look! It's the exact same burn scar as the one in the photo! I don't understand. I knew it! So the person in this photo really is... Yes, it's Queen Amara. This is absurd! Are you suggesting they switched places? Amara's confession earlier was also false. Mother! What is the meaning of this? Don't you see? This changes everything! We know for a fact that this photo was taken at 2 p.m., the exact time the murder took place. But that would mean Queen Amara couldn't possibly have committed this crime. Exactly. She now has an ironclad alibi, so Minister Inga's killer couldn't have been Queen Amara. I am afraid I no longer follow the fence. Was it not Queen Amara who channeled the minister and the accused to stage the crime? Yes, that fact has not changed. We have evidence placing her at the scene of the crime. And Dirk could have only been there in the tomb if she were channeling him. Which means... While Queen Amara did use spirit channeling to stage the crime, she didn't kill Minister Inga. His real killer is someone else! Pokunka! What's going on here? Was her mercilessness covering for someone? If Queen Amara is not the killer, then who is it? Isn't it obvious? Why was this rite held in the first place if Queen Garan wasn't going to perform it? Who was behind the two sisters switching places, and for what reason? The answer to these questions, along with the establishment of Queen Amara's alibi, obliterate a certain someone else's alibi. Queen Garan! Why, is this some kind of a joke? No, Your Majesty. I can never joke about something so grave. The only one who seemed to have a perfect alibi at the time of the murder was Her Eminence, Garan Sigatar Kurai! Queen Amara, didn't your sister Queen Garan ask you to pose as her and perform the rite of channeling? And didn't she also have you drive Dirk's spirit from Miss Faye's body and then stage the crime to make it look like he was the minister's killer? And at 2 p.m., while you were performing the rite of channeling as Queen Garan, didn't she kill Minister Inga while disguised as Dirk? Well, your mercifulness? It's no use trying to hide it any longer. You need to tell us the truth now! Mother? Justice Minister Inga's true killer is... She got shot! Mother? No! I really did it! Your Eminence! My life is yours! Isn't he one of Garon's royal guards? Queen Amara! Bailiff! Arrest that guardsman! Mother! Garon couldn't have. Could she? Someone call for an ambulance! Quickly! Now! Alright! One more part to the trial, and then we shall finally bring Phoenix Wright, Spirit of Justice, to a close, as well as the conclusion of Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy. But first, I have to take a bathroom break. Wow, it's almost been another whole hour. Then again, I think the first part took about 2 hours. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and continue. May 19th, High Court of Kurai, accused lobby. We're lucky the ambulance made it in time. But we've been forced into a recess for now while things get straightened out. I can't believe what just happened. Tell me about it. You think Garan put that guard up to it? If she did, she's going to regret it. No one gets away with something like that on my watch. Poor Queen Amara. Your benevolence. Any news on her condition? She is undergoing surgery at the hospital as we speak. They are giving her a 50-50 chance of survival, though. That Garan! Justice will be served! Why? Why did this happen? Just as we were finally reunited. Oh, Queen Amara. What was that about being reunited? Oh, it's nothing. Right. How are you, Hornhead? Dirk Sadmati was your father in all but blood, after all. Thank you for your concern, your benevolence. But I'm fine. Right now, we still have a trial to see through. So that's what I'm going to stay focused on. Hornhead, you're sturdier than your statureless on. Just don't overdo it, okay, Apollo? Dirk, that was a real shocker, alright. Can't believe the dragon is dead. That's... Say, AJ, I was wondering, when Dirk disappeared after I freed him, that's because Amara turned back into herself, right? Yeah, I suppose so. But I don't know if it was because Dirk's spirit willed it, or if it was a part of Garan or Amara's plan. Man, our dream of revolution. Now what are we gonna do? Is this it? Don't give up yet. There's a very good chance that Garan is the real culprit in all this. And if we can prove her guilt in court... Hey, you're right! That could be just the push we need. The dream lives on! Yes, it does. You know what that means, AJ? The fate of the revolution rests squarely on your shoulders. All in a day's work. Who am I kidding? That's a ton of pressure. Well, this is what Dirk gave his life for, so I have to do this for him. The Honorable Rebel Dirk Sadmati. I would have loved to have spoken with him while he yet lived. Really? Why not? I mean, he seemed like quite an interesting man. Did she bump her head or something earlier? The trial is about to resume. The defense is to report to the courtroom at once. Already? After what just happened? The first thing Garan will do is respond to that last accusation, so you better stay on your toes, Apollo. I will, Mr. Wright. Ready or not, Garan, here comes justice! May 19th, High Court of Kurai. Now then, let us resume today's proceedings. Huh? Where's Nayuta? I must offer my apologies. I never imagined a royal guardsman would do such a thing. What? He wasn't acting under your orders? How dare you cast those suspicions upon her eminence? It is quite all right, your majesty. Suspicion is only natural under such circumstances. But rest assured that he acted alone, for I knew nothing of his plans. I don't believe that for a second. Now then, your majesty, regarding the murder of my husband, Minister Inga, I would like to offer a new possibility. A new possibility, you say? Indeed, for during the break, the real killer confessed to me. What? Bailiff, call the witness to the stand. The real killer confessed? What's she got up her sleeve this time? I have a really bad feeling about this. He's the one who confessed? Prosecutor Satomadi, you're the real killer? I questioned him during the recess, as I felt that Amara had been covering for someone. So it was that he finally confessed his crime to me. Nayuta, you didn't really do it, did you? Her Eminence speaks the truth. It was I who killed Justice Minister Inga. Nayuta!